Metaverse on BSV.
Hello again, everybody. My name is Robert Rice, and I'm going to be talking about the Metaverse on BSV. First and foremost, a little bit of an introduction, kind of my background. I'm the founder and CEO of Transmira. We're developing a Metaverse platform called Omniscape, and I've been kind of at this for about 30 years. I started in VR about 1992, and I got into augmented reality around 2008 or so. So I've been around and I've earned all of the gray hair, and I'm pretty cool. Just saying. Okay, so first and foremost, I guess the question is, what is the metaverse? I think if I had a dollar or a Bitcoin for every time I've heard that phrase in the last day, I would be super wealthy right now. But I think the definitions still kind of range, and nobody's really kind of settled down on what it is or what it could be. So I want to talk about that a little bit, as well as where we're at in the industry and kind of four, I guess, fundamental keys to mastering the metaverse or taking advantage of it and like doing something that's significant and impactful for the world. So first, I think we're kind of in the middle of a singularity right now. If you look at everything that's been happening from COVID to the economy around the world, as well as technology developments in a lot of different areas, it seems like we're in the middle of a convergence where all of these interesting things are coming together and are suddenly creating new opportunities in terms of disruption and a lot of other things. And I think that for people that are kind of on the ball and paying attention, this is the time to take advantage of all this disruption and do something new and interesting and amazing. So for me, I kind of define the metaverse as basically the sum total of all of the cool digital media and information and data that surrounds us, both in the world that we're at, like we're here at this center, we're surrounded by people and phones and devices and sensors, but also kind of off in the virtual, the internet space with all the 3D worlds and websites and data and all of this stuff. So the idea of taking all of this data worldwide and interacting with it in new ways that are spatial or 3D or immersive or interactive, I think this for me is what defines the metaverse. It's not just 3D social VR worlds, but it's something way more than that, and certainly more important. And I think that certainly within the next decade, we're going to see different types of metaverses and applications that are going to affect us in pretty much every part of our daily life. So that's cool, but how big is it? How much is it worth? According to Citi, we're looking at a $13 trillion market in less than 8 years. And that's a really big number in a very short period of time. But it's also a potential of 5 billion users worldwide. Most people don't know that there's already more than 2 billion mobile devices that are ready to go for augmented reality, and certainly a lot more that are ready for 3D worlds. And one of the, I guess, the secrets of the industry is that you don't actually need a head-mounted display to experience virtual reality. The head-mounted display just adds an extra level of immersion. There's plenty of really cool and amazing things that you can do just with a PC or a laptop or even a console. So one of the very first important parts to understanding the metaverse and building for it is location, particularly with the real world and digital twins. It's not always about going to some other place like Decentraland or Sandbox or Second Life, but what happens if we recreate an entire city, in this case, Las Vegas, at a 1-to-1 scale, make it photorealistic, and make it interactive where I can walk around? Or what if we do this for stadiums or arenas or schools or museums or universities, where we can go, we can log in, we can be remote, and it'd be like as if we're actually there, actually experiencing events or education or entertainment or whatever, but also doing it with other people. And these are the kind of things that my company and my platform are actually building. So this here on the left-hand side is a picture from Google Earth in Miami. This is Ocean Drive in 10th Street. And on the right is our platform with a full-scale digital twin running in Unreal 5. And as you can see, they're pretty close to each other. So the ability to go to another location like this, I think, is important and very interesting. But one of the other things that we've done as a company is kind of blend the two together. So I might be able to log in somewhere remotely, like in this case, I'm going to log into Miami, but at the same time, we can have people that are in Miami using their mobile device to see my avatar in augmented reality. So they're local, on location, using AR, and I'm remote, logging in using VR, and we're able to have a communication with its voice or chat. We can trade objects, we can communicate, and do all kinds of fun things. We actually demonstrated this for the first time ever at CES this year in Las Vegas a few months ago. And it was kind of pretty cool being part of history for the first time. The other thing that's really important for metaverse stuff is monetization. So many people are thinking about fun experiences or games or social, but they're missing the utility and the need for monetization. Not just for a company running it, but for businesses, for brands, for consumers, for content creators, for people having contests. The monetization is key. When we think about the metaverse, what does monetization mean? Does that mean just accepting money or payments? Or is it trying to think of new ways to represent items of value, and how do you trade and transfer those things? So in our case, I'm gonna skip that. So in our case, we take 3D objects and we link them to real world objects. This is actually patented technology. And we kind of tokenize them. So for example, if you've ever played Pokemon Go and you found a little Pokemon and collected it, that's kind of cool. But what if it was a 3D Starbucks coffee cup that you could pick up and it was a unique NFT that you could then go to Starbucks and exchange it for an actual coffee? Or you could trade it to a friend and let them go and exchange it. Or maybe it's a 3D pair of Nikes that you can wear on your avatar, have fun in Fortnite or something, but then go to the store to Foot Locker or somewhere and get a free pair of sneakers, or maybe a buy one, get one free, or kind of a discount. This whole concept and idea of taking 3D objects and linking it to things in the physical world that have real value, and then being able to trade and transfer these, but also tracking it on blockchain, I believe is critical and fundamental to the metaverse that's coming. Here's just some other sort of fun examples. I do have to say though, if you find a dinosaur one, you can't actually trade it for a real dinosaur. Okay. Thank you, that was a very funny joke. Moving on. So how do we do all this? You need kind of BSV blockchain. When we kind of set out and started the company, we thought, okay, cool, if we're gonna do these massive scale digital twins, we're gonna be tracking data from millions of sensors and people, there's gonna be all kinds of objects transferred and traded around. We need something that's gonna be able to handle millions and millions of transactions per day. We need to be able to know that the data that we're getting, especially on the enterprise level, where there's, from a sensor on an oil rig or a light sensor here in a building, we need to know that we can trust it. And when we looked at all the different chains and protocols, we could not find one that could handle the scale, the speed, or that was cost effective. And then we discovered BSV blockchain, which in our mind, from a business case and from a technical standpoint, is absolutely superior to all of the other blockchains that are out there, at least as far as an underlying blockchain to kind of power everything. It's not so much about cryptocurrency, it's about underlying blockchain to secure things, to guarantee that the data has integrity, where the provenance of objects are, anti-fraud, so on and so forth. And then of course, on a cost level, a transaction for us is literally fractions of a penny. So BSV gives us the ability to do things at a global scale in a way that has not been done before. So the future is here. Now what? What do we do? Where do we go from here? So this is kind of the platform that we've been building, where we call it Omniscape. We've kind of broken it down into a couple of different categories. Some of this we've already launched, and the rest we're going to be launching throughout this year, leading on to the end of the year, in terms of our patented virtual goods. Again, the idea being that we can capture 3D objects and link them to physical items in the real world, whether it's a product, a service, or an asset, or coupon, a credit, a voucher, any of the above. They thought it was cool. We're also developing city-scale digital twins. We haven't yet announced which city we're going to be doing first, but it will be a full city, to scale, photorealistic, that will handle hundreds of thousands of simultaneous users at the same time, and we'll also have the AR-VR blend. So that's going to be really cool. If you want to, say, learn a language, you normally want to do it through immersion. So in our case, you could actually go to a city, explore it, look around, go to real-world locations, but because of how we blend AR and VR together, you're going to be able to interact with people that are actually there. You're going to learn the language, you're going to pick up the accent, you're going to make friends and meet people, and maybe you'll get a job offer. How cool would it be to work in some other country remotely, but through the metaverse and make real dollars? We also have a 3D NFT marketplace coming soon. There's a few other pieces too that we think are really important. Things like identity, having a kind of an avatar registry where you can register what you look like and your identity and kind of carry it with you, and being able to protect who you are, but also be accountable to the system, I think is very important. And then a couple other cool things like creator tools and whatnot. So I talked a little bit too fast. I still have a few minutes left. So I'm either going to turn it over to Jimmy or I'm going to take a question or two. Any questions? Okay. Well, Jimmy, do you have any questions for me? No? Okay. Well, I know we're running a little bit behind schedule.
No, it's all right. Thank you, Robert, for that presentation. He's doing a lot in the metaverse and making it real. And I guess I'll ask this one question. People think about metaverse for just kind of entertainment type purposes. You talked about it a little bit. What are some of the more business enterprise uses of metaverse that you foresee?
Oh, for sure. So one good example is being able to drive foot traffic. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be working with a variety of malls and stadiums and arenas. And for them to be able to kind of geolocate really cool content and augmented reality for people to discover, ultimately drives foot traffic to those locations for other experiences, as well as giving remote users the ability to kind of hang out and interact and whatever. But also for other things like building management, oil rigs,
like
chain.
Basically what, controlling or repairing oil rigs from afar?
Yeah, so instead of me having to get on a helicopter and fly out in the middle of nowhere and risk all that, I should be able to log into a full-scale 3D digital twin of the oil rig and be able to fly around and tap different pieces of hardware and get live sensor data, get maintenance records, history, repair things. I mean, this is the power of taking all this data around.
Buy a house or piece of real estate from afar.
Oh yeah, imagine just buying a house, clicking on it, grabbing the NFT, and then magic happens behind the scenes, and claims get filed, and there's your 3D house.
Cool, so open your mind to what metaverse can be beyond brands and NFTs and games and entertainment. Lots of business uses.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Jimmy.
All right.